just going to hand over the mic to dear uncle. MP uncle, welcome, namaste, Jai Guruji.
Jai Guruji, I hope you can hear me.
Hanji uncle.
Okay, Jai to all of you, greetings to all of you. I'm in Seattle, so wherever you are, our greetings, Jai Guruji. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to share a few experiences that I have had with Guruji. We met him in 1998. And that was the first time we met him in this life. As you know, probably we have known him for many, many lives. But we'll come to that later. But we met him because of a problem, like many of us did. When we have problems, we run, try to find somebody who can help us. And so our problem was our second daughter's asthma. It was a real severe problem. And in 1998, she was about 17 years old, about to go to university. And her attacks used to be life-threatening. And as parents, we knew, we had a sense of, when the attacks were coming, and we could kind of, prepare for it and run to the hospital and do things, that were needed. But now I was getting too concerned that, she'll go to university. We were in Singapore at that time. It was my expat assignment. So I thought she'll be in US. मैं English में बोल रहा हूँ, is that okay? बीच बीच में और हिंदी में बोलूँ?
दोनों is fine uncle, जैसे भी. हाँ जी.
So मैं सोचता था कि अगर ये US में जाएगी तो she'll be in a dorm or a hostel someplace. इसका जब attack होगा तो what will happen? Who will take care of her? Who would even know that she's having an attack? She could be all alone in her room when the attack happens, and so what will happen? So all these thoughts used to really bother me. So anyway, we were in December of 1998. We were vacationing at that time, and we went for a vacation to India in the city of Mysore. And after that, in the city of Mysore in Karnataka, and I didn't know that, but a particular weed which was very bad for people with asthma, which used to sprout every 6 to 7 years, it was in full bloom at that time. So as a result of that, she had a terrible, a disastrous attack of asthma. We almost lost her. Thanks to Guruji's grace, somehow she survived with a very good medical help. And after that, we came to Delhi because we wanted to see some family members before returning to Singapore. So in that visit, my uncle, he knew about our problem. So he said, he talked very cryptically. He said, कि अगर श्रद्धा हो तो मैं गुरुजी के यहाँ लेके चलूं और गुरुजी की कृपा होगी तो नीतू ठीक हो जाएगी. नीतू is the name of our daughter. मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आया क्या कह रहे हैं, but I was desperate. Anything would have been great. We tried allopathic medicine, homeopathic medicine in India, in Singapore, Ayurvedic medicine. I had taken her for this fish medicine also, which happens in Hyderabad once a year. So we tried everything. Nothing had worked. So मैंने कहा बिल्कुल, I'm ready. So he said, why don't you come in the afternoon and I'll take you in my car. So we went there that afternoon and he took us to Guruji's, Sangat, that was in Empire State, at the pretty close to Gurgaon border. And, that was a long journey and I didn't ask him anything about Guruji and he never told me anything about Guruji. So I was expecting that there'll be an older gentleman, older Guruji sitting there, maybe white beard, white chola, maybe some people there around him. And so, we come to this place and my uncle's instructions to me were follow the drill. Means what, basically do whatever he does, just follow him. So as we entered this Empire State house, where the Sangat was, I was pretty uncomfortable. I saw the place was full of the cream of Delhi, and Guruji was not an old man. I saw a very young, dashing person in very colorful clothes, sitting there, smiling, and some people were, pressing his shoulders, some pressing his legs. So I was very uncomfortable, and it was a very Punjabi, 100% Punjabi environment. A very loud music was blaring, and it was not it was not Shabad. It was somebody's bhajan that they had made for Guruji was playing. So I was very uncomfortable. पर मैंने कहा ठीक है आ गए हैं तो sit down. So the place was extremely crowded. तो एक साथ बैठने की जगह नहीं मिली. अलग-अलग हम लोग बैठ गए थे. Anyway, then we had an opportunity. Oh, sorry, I should say that उसके बैठने के पहले गुरुजी के पैर छुए. तो पैर छूने में गुरुजी ने he addressed me by my first name, Ashok. That is a name that they use at home for me. So maybe my uncle had already told him. But later on, I was to learn, of course, that we all went to him because of his wish. And since we went by his wish, he absolutely knew each and every one of us who came, and he addressed all of us, whoever came, by our first names. That was just a standard procedure, basically. But I didn't know at that time. So anyway, after that, we tried to tell Guruji about our daughter, but Guruji just raised his hand and he said, "Sab malume hai, baith jao." So we didn't know what else to do. So we just sat down, when we found a place separately. I was sitting one place, Usha, my wife, with Neetu was sitting another place. Our uncle was somewhere else. So after some time, Guruji waved at us and asked us to come. So I and Usha and Neetu went. And Guruji just, there was a little conversation, small talk. And then Guruji raised his right hand and says, "Kalyan Kitta." And that's it. And they said, "Jaake baith jao." So we again went back and sat down. उस समय ये रूटीन होती थी कि बीच में गुरुजी प्रसाद बांटते थे। उस समय उठ के हम लोग प्रसाद लेते थे लाइन में, and then we would go out and wash our hands. So during that time we had a chance to interact, with each other, So my uncle during that time asked me, "Guruji ने क्या कहा?" क्योंकि he saw that Guruji said something. तो मैंने चाचा जी से बोला कि गुरुजी ने बोला कल्याण कितना. My chacha was all smile. He said, "She's cured." I said, "Cured?" I didn't believe it at all. I'm admitting that. I didn't believe that she's cured. But basically, I can share with you that there's been never any health issues with Neetu after that. I mean, she was absolutely cured. And all Guruji did was raise his right hand and said, "Kalyan Gita." So that was our introduction to Guruji and to his grace. So after that, I started going there as often as I could. I was in Singapore on an expat assignment. I was managing director for our company for Asia Pacific. So India was part of my area, so I could go there anytime I wanted. So typically, I would go there on Thursday, go to Sangat, then Friday, Saturday, go to Sangat. Sunday, I would go to Sangat, and from there, I go to the airport, and Monday morning, I'll be back in Singapore. That was pretty standard routine. I would do that every once in a while. And I did that because I felt so good that Guruji has, just taken care of the problem in our life. I just felt grateful. I had no other desires, no other wish, nothing. I just felt so grateful that I would just go there. And as I went through it, and I'll take you through, these episodes not in a systematic way, but I saw that all kind of miracles were happening. People with incurable disease would come, and Guruji would cure them. Just like he cured our daughter. And of course, Guruji was all fragrant and all kind of, I saw all kind of मुझे समझ में आ रहा था कि this is very special place. And Guruji is not a human being, but I at that time I used to think Guruji is a Siddhi Purush. In our, back, in our tradition, Siddhi Purush are those, who have acquired certain power to do certain things, which are super human, which are divine, like curing people or doing things like that. So I would just think that he's a Siddhi Purush, and he has this ability to cure people. But it didn't matter, I just enjoyed being there, so I kept going there. It didn't matter, whether he was Siddhi Purush or something else. And I would say all kind of unique things happened. Like Guruji was he was basically a small person, with very small hands, and our Sangat used to be full of army people from Punjab, some very hefty, burly people, with huge hands. And as I said, Guruji used to prasad baatte the. So hum log line mein prasad lete the, and I would see that these burly people with two big hands, put the hand in front of Guruji for laddu or whatever Guruji was giving, and Guruji with a very small hand, take laddu, and these people would not even be able to, handle those laddu in their two huge hands. So I could not figure out what was going on. Everything was kind of very strange, very miraculous, something that can't be explained. Then one day, Guruji took us to Bade Mandir. Because once in a while, what would happen, when very few people would be left, like 10, 12 people, उस समय routine ये थी कि Guruji की आज्ञा से हम लोग वापस जाते. Guruji would, after the whole Sangat would be done, Guruji would one by one, basically ask people to come, by gesturing at them, and they will ask them to leave. So the people would touch Guruji's feet and then go. So we were very lucky because, Guruji knew, of course, that we came from Singapore. So he would let us stay till, very late, till almost the end every time. One day it was like maybe 1 o'clock or so at night, and there were only 10 of us left. So Guruji said, "Bade Mandir chalte hain." So I did not. I had gone to Bade Mandir once before only. So anyway, we went there. It was dark night, winter night, and Guruji's car was, came after us, after the 3 or 4 other cars, that were reached there before. So हम लोग बाहर मंदिर के बाहर we were waiting for Guruji, and at that time some work was going on with cement. So because of cement, the some planks were put, लकड़ी के पटरे रखे हुए थे to cross the cement area. So we carefully crossed, that area on those planks, and we went to the other side, and we were waiting for Guruji. Guruji came, and he just walked over the cement. So I was totally flabbergasted. I was just, my jaws must have dropped, because next to me was Mr. Verma from Ghaziabad, and he looked at me. He must have seen the huge question marks on my face. So he said, "Aapko nahi malum?" So I didn't know what he was saying. मैंने कहा नहीं. So he said, "Guruji के पैर जमीन पर नहीं पड़ते." मैंने कहा अच्छा. So I didn't believe it. Anyway, I went inside and I was very carefully examining Guruji's shoes, because Guruji sat on his, singhasan, and as usual, you put up one of his, leg and put it on the other, and absolutely, his shoes were absolutely perfect, shiny, no dust, nothing, no cement, no nothing. So then I learned that Guruji's feet didn't touch the ground when he walked. And so, I was going through all these experiences, and I knew that he was Antaryami, because, he would make us understand that, like one day I went somewhere and then went to Sangat, and Guruji immediately told me about the place I was, and, in a very humorous way asked me, what I was doing there and things like that. So these things used to go on, so I learned that he's also Antaryami. He knew exactly what was going through inside us, not just, outside. So, and he, of course, could cure people, and his feet would not touch the ground, and he was fragrant, and all kind of these things happening. And, I was thinking, really, Heko. So then the other thing that was very surprising to me, I was very curious about, कि मैंने गुरुजी को कभी सोते हुए नहीं देखा. Because we would be often there till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I would be told, after we left, I was told Guruji went in a part. पाठ करते थे सुबह, early morning. The question going through my mind was कि गुरुजी कभी सोते भी, और गुरुजी के एक इंस्ट्रक्शन दे रखा था कि गुरु से कुछ नहीं पूछते. So I was very respectful of this instruction. तो मैंने कभी गुरुजी से पूछा नहीं, वैसे पूछने की हिम्मत भी नहीं होती थी गुरुजी के सामने, मेरी मुंह खुलता नहीं था उनके सामने. I was always, So, but one day, I was sitting there with Guruji, and there was nobody else there in the Sangha. There was just one person sitting very, very far away. It was very late, maybe at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. मैंने कहा अच्छा मौका है, आज गुरुजी से पूछना है कि गुरुजी सोते हैं कि नहीं. अगर गुरुजी डांटेंगे, नाराज होंगे तो ठीक है. It will not be too embarrassing. Only one person will watch, the seas. तो मैंने गुरुजी से पूछा, गुरुजी आप कभी सोते हैं? गुरुजी इतने प्यार से मुस्कुराए, and I can tell you that there was an absolutely divine smile that I cannot describe. Only God can smile like that. The love that came out of that smile was absolutely divine. I can't describe it. Even if I had ears to tell you, how divine it was, I won't be able to do that. But anyway, and he said so beautifully, and I'll repeat his words exactly. He said, "मैं सोऊंगा तो सृष्टि को कौन देखेगा?" And he spoke in pure Hindi. Guruji always spoke Punjabi. But that day, I think he wanted to make sure that I got through my head. So he spoke in pure Hindi, and he said, "मैं सोऊंगा तो सृष्टि को कौन देखेगा?" For those of you who don't understand that, if I go to sleep, who will look after the creation? So, that way, Guruji himself told me who he was. So I just wanted to share that, because, I think it's very important to know who Guruji was. And then of course, the question that comes through our mind is, what is Lord doing there? Why is Lord here in human body, and what's his purpose? Why, what's he doing as a very ordinary person? So for that, I'll take you to Shiv Puran. In Shiv Puran, there is a very important episode where there's nothing. Only Lord Shiva is there, and he is formless. There's nothing else. And then he has the desire to create. And the first thing he does is he creates Brahma. And he tells Brahma to create. Those were his instructions to Brahma. And so after Brahma tries, and it was not easy, but he kept trying, and after lots of trial and errors, lot of failures, Brahma is successful in creating. He creates the universe that we are in, and he is very proud. He's so proud that he grows a fifth head. He was already given four heads by Lord Shiva. Now he grows a fifth head. So Lord Shiva now is very intrigued. This I'm describing to you as it is in Shiv Puran. And so he said, let me see what he has done. So Lord looks at the universe that is created, and he looks at the earth, and he says, oh my, he was totally disappointed. He was very sad because he saw greed, he saw violence, he saw jealousy, he saw all kind of bad things happening. So he was very sad, and he looked at Brahma and said, Brahma, what have you done? But Brahma was so happy with himself, that he was not even thinking about anything else. Then Lord Shiva, then he becomes angry, and his anger he creates. Takes the form of Kal Bhairav, and he instructs Kal Bhairav to snatch away the fifth head of Brahma and throw it away. Kal Bhairav doesn't want to do that, but I won't go into that. But anyway, Kal Bhairav ends up doing it. And when the fifth head is snatched, Brahma comes back to his senses, and then he realizes why Lord Shiva is angry or sad or disappointed. Then he tells him, Lord, I made a mistake. Please correct it. Lord Shiva says, no, that was your creation. I'm not going to interfere. But once in a while, I'll go to earth and I'll take care of some of my devotees. So that's the purpose why Lord sometimes comes as Sadguru to earth. And he doesn't come to change the world. He doesn't come to take care of everyone. And this is please very important to understand. He comes here only for some of his devotees. And what is taking care? Taking care means finishing our journey. And this is also explained very well. We have come from him, but of course we don't remember that. And we need to go back to him to finish our journey. But we don't know that either. And even if we knew it, we don't know how to do that because we are carrying this huge karmic load on ourselves and we cannot get rid of it. And without getting rid of it, we can't get back. So he comes as Sadguru to unload us of our karmic baggage. And how he does it? He does not violate Brahma's karmic rule of karma. But he takes our karma on himself and suffers for us. So he relieves us of our karmic burden by taking our suffering on himself and suffers for us. And Guruji suffered, believe me. I didn't know that in the beginning, but as I realized, as I got to know what was happening, I saw him suffering. He was always in pain. He was often groaning. I was told that he used to, vomit blood. I did not see that, but I, heard from other people. He was always in pain, always in suffering. It was so bad that, I was moved. I didn't want him to do all this. One day I told him, I said, Guruji, please band kariye aisa. He said, this is too much. Please finish it. Please come and live with us, live with some other people. There should be an end to it. You know what Guruji told me? He smiled. And again, it was such a beautiful, divine smile. And he said, "Isiliye to main yahan aaya hu." These were his words. He explained, the reason he has come there to suffer for us, to take our suffering. So anyway, if you have found your Guru, I hope you have, then believe me, there is no greater blessing than that. If you have found a Sadguru. Every Sadguru that we have in this world, which comes once in a while, who may come, is basically either connected to Lord Shiva or Lord Shiva himself. And when in our case, when Lord Shiva himself is a Sadguru, there is no higher blessing than that. I'm sure you have heard about Adi Guru Shankaracharya. He's written some many beautiful books. One of them, a very small book, is Vivek Chudamani. Basically translated, it means nuggets of wisdom, I guess. And if you can buy that book, and in the very beginning, in the first 5-6 pages, he writes very beautifully that there are 3 things which are possible only with, he calls it, it's basically divine grace, he gives it a name. And these 3 things are: first, human body. So don't take it lightly. We have been blessed because we are human. He said it's one of the highest blessings possible, and it is only possible because of the divine will. The second thing he says is spiritual curiosity. And we are all here together because I'm assuming we have some spiritual curiosity. So that's, we are all blessed with that too. That's a higher blessing than human, because very few human beings have a spiritual curiosity. Most would not even bother with it. They don't even think about it. They have better things to do. Like going to maybe watching a show, or going to work, or earning a living, or buying a car. There's so many things to do. So who has time for spiritual curiosity? But he said the final blessing, which is extremely rare, is having a Sadguru. So my message to you, if you have found a Sadguru, there is absolutely nothing higher, no higher blessing possible. Just start celebrating. Celebrate every moment of your life. That's what Guruji told everyone. One of the Guruji's pet phrases that he would often say to everyone is "Ash karo, ash karo." He would use that quite often. तो शुरू में मैं बड़ा कंफ्यूज रहता था. मैं कहता था गुरुजी ऐश क्यों करवा रहे हैं, अयाशी हमसे क्यों करवा रहे हैं, what is so good about अयाशी, then I realized Guruji कह रहे हैं कि live without worries, live carefreely. And why is he saying that? He's saying that because he is there. He's there for us. He's looking after us. He's taking care of us. So what we have to do, we have to start learning. We have to learn to live without worries. You have learned to be happy. You have to learn to live without fear. Why? Because he's looking after us. So you have to have faith in him. You must have faith to realize that he's there for you. And he's going to take care of you. Leave things to him. Enjoy. Just do what you have to do. Don't worry about what will happen. So whatever you need to do, whatever is your grandest wish, whatever you desire, please go ahead and do it with all your energy, all your, excitement or enthusiasm, and just rest assured that the outcome will be best. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Just do it. इसीलिए गुरुजी कहते थे, and these are his words, मांगो मत, मानो. Means accept me as your guru. If you can do that, that's all you have to do. मांगने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. Because see, we are all very ordinary humans. And we don't even know what to ask. And गुरुजी ने मुझसे बोल रखा था कि कभी कुछ नहीं मांगना, गुरु से कुछ नहीं पूछते, गुरु से कुछ नहीं मांगते. But I violated that rule once. And I wish I'd never done that. I violated that rule only once, and I asked him for something. And that happened. But as a human being, I could not see the consequences, ramifications of what I had asked for. And I wish I'd never asked him for that. I would not share, that's very personal. But it was a complete disaster for me. So please, never ask him for anything, because he is also Bhole Baba. In all likelihood, he will give it to you. And since we don't know exactly what to ask, we may make the mistake of asking for something bad, something wrong, something that is not the best for us. He who knows everything, who knows what we want, he who knows what is best for us, will give us what would be the best for us. So please never ask him for anything. Just please seek Guru only for him, for Guru. गुरुजी कहते थे कोई अच्छी चीज तो मांगता ही नहीं. सब अपनी उल्टी सीधी चीजें लेके मांगने आ जाते हैं. That was so true, because nearly all of us, we went for a selfish desire. Most of us, I'm ashamed to say that, and Guruji would said that. That's why I'm repeating it. Most of us went because of selfish reason. We wanted this, we wanted that. And I've witnessed it so much, and some people were so ungrateful that they didn't even bother thanking Guruji for it. And Guruji sometimes would be sad. He would say, "Meri shakti lagti hai, log samajhte hi nahi." Because he would say, quite often people who I bless think it is just coincidence ye ho gaya hai, or it was to happen anyway. And if they don't realize कि I did it. Guruji, these were Guruji's words. वो कहते थे मेरी शक्ति लगती है, लोग समझते नहीं. That I bless them. I do things. I change the way the events happen in this universe for them. But they don't understand. They don't even know what had happened. So please, my message to you, please leave things to Guruji. Do what you need to do. Do it with total confidence, with total faith in Guruji. Stop being fearful of anything. Stop worrying about anything. Enjoy life. And the other thing is that, of course, we enjoy good things, and good things will happen to everyone because of his blessings, his grace. But please also learn to enjoy bad. Bad things will also happen. Because, Guru is there to unload us of our karmic burden. And what Guruji said, वो तलवार हटा देते हैं हम लोगों की और सुई की नोक छोड़ देते हैं. That means, he takes most of our suffering away, but he leaves a little bit for us. So we are all destined, if we accept him as our Guru, to go through those moments where we will suffer. But when that happens, actually we should throw a party, because that is the best thing that can happen. Imagine us being unloaded of our karmic burden at such a small cost. So those are actually the true moments to rejoice. When something goes haywire, something goes wrong, it causes some suffering and sorrow for us. Please learn to enjoy the bad as much as the good, and actually enjoy the bad even more. If you throw a party for something good happening, throw 2 parties for when something bad happens, because that is really the purpose why we have a relationship with Guru. To unload us of what is wrong. And he does that so beautifully, leaving only a little bit for us. And he knows what we can live with, how much we can suffer, how much, we can tolerate, and it would not go beyond that. And he'll always be with us. So there is no reason to worry about something going bad. Let it happen. That's also part of life. Guruji कहते थे, that is life. Ups and downs होते हैं. परेशानी की क्या बात? जब गुरु है तो क्यों परेशान? So please enjoy. Live life to its fullest. Live life with full energy, with full enthusiasm. Pursue all your dreams and have faith that Guruji is there. He'll take care of it. Now, next thing I want to share with you is how to connect with Guruji. Guruji कहते थे telepathy से बात किया कर. So he would tell that to everybody. Telepathy से बात किया कर. Guruji would not do any pravachan. He would not say anything of any significance. Some people, who felt that, they absolutely have to talk to Guruji, he'll humor them, with some small talk. But basically there was nothing significant happening there in terms of talks. So, and Guruji would say, telepathy से बात किया करो. तो शुरू में तो बड़ा confused रहता था. मैंने कहा, गुरुजी तो telepathy से बात कर लेंगे, मैं कैसे बात करूंगा? I don't have that power. Then slowly I realized that, we have to meditate. The only way to connect with our Guru is through meditation. There is absolutely no other way. So please meditate as much as you can, and you will connect with Guruji if you do that sincerely. And it's very easy to figure out whether you're doing that correctly or not, whether it's happening. Because see, his name is also Satchidanand. He is full of joy and happiness. So if you are meditating and you start, what time, it'll take some time, but then you'll start feeling a sense of happiness just for no reason. You're meditating and there is absolutely no reason to be happy, but you're happy. You don't want to open your eyes. You don't want the meditation to stop. When that starts happening, you are making the connection, because that happiness from Satchidanand is flowing to you. So enjoy those moments. You're making a connection with Guruji. And then in that connection, you'll learn a lot. His name, he gave the name himself, Guruji. that his name is selected. Name given by his parents was Nirmal, but he selected the name Guruji. And there is a reason why he selected that name. Guru's role is to teach us. And his teaching occurs through those moments when we are in meditation with him, on him, and we are able to connect. Everything that we need to learn, we'll learn directly from him. Another thing Guruji told me on a very specific, some other day, we'll talk about, it's a very long episode. But one day he called me in the morning because essentially he had said that I should do something and I didn't do it. And then I asked somebody else, because I could not communicate with Guruji. Guruji जो बोलते समझ में नहीं आता था मुझे. His Punjabi was so rustic and so fast that it always went above my head. So I was so confused at that time. मैंने कहा गुरुजी से पूछूंगा तो कुछ समझ में तो आएगा नहीं वो जो भी बोलेंगे. I went to Singla and I asked Singla. I said, Guruji, let me actually share with the episode. What happened one day, my uncle called me and he said, Guruji ने कहा है Aurangzeb Road पे जाके flat खरीदो. So I had no idea what Aurangzeb Road flat and all that is all about. So anyway, next time when I went to Guruji, Sangat, it was very shortly thereafter. As soon as I touched Guruji's feet, Guruji he repeated the same thing. He said, "Jaake flat khareed le, Aurangzeb Road pe." So I had no idea, how to go about doing that. I was in Singapore, busy with my job. I had no idea about the real estate issues in New Delhi. So anyway, so I met I visited with one of my cousins who was not involved with the Sangat, but she knew the people in the Sangat. So she told me, Vippy, talk to Vippy. Vippy is a gentleman, he's the son of the contractor who built the Bade Mandir. So he said, Vippy knows everything. He's very well connected. He knows all about real estate in Delhi. So next Sangat I was in, I approached Vippy and Vippy already knew about it. Guruji must have told him. So Guruji had told him. So Vippy said, yes, uncle, no problem. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'll pick you up from your hotel and I'll take you and I'll show you some flats. So the next morning, he picked me up at 10 o'clock. And on the way, he told me, he said, uncle, this is all purely Guruji's grace. Usually no flat is available in that building. There's only one building on Aurangzeb Road where private flats were available at that time, or that was the Ansal's building. And there's one more building in the Newton's Delhi or Prithviraj Road that was Tata building. He said these were the only two buildings in Newton's Delhi where anybody could buy a private flat. And he said because they are so much in demand, nothing really comes out to the market. People just find out about it, and before before somebody even talks about it, it's sold. So he said, but Guruji's grace, three flats are available. So I understood the grace too. So I looked at the flat and they were really beautiful. I really thought I should, buy it. But then I said, why should I buy it? I'm not living in Delhi. What would I do with it? So these thoughts started going through my mind. I said, I'm coming and staying at Imperial. I spent $300 a night or whatever. I said, I spend so many nights. Even if I pay the money out of my pocket, it is so many $1,000. And if I spend 3 crore in buying that flat, that was the price at that time given to me. He said, what is the point? I can earn better returns by investing that money somewhere else. So I said, I don't want to buy that flat. But instead of going to Guruji and talking to him about it, I went to Singla. Because the other thought that occurred to me is maybe Guruji wants to do Sangat in Aurangzeb Road flat. Because the Empire State Building is too much to one side of Delhi. It is toward Gurgaon in border. Whereas, Newton's Delhi is right in the center. It will be probably much easier. But instead of asking Guruji, what the most stupid thing I did was I went to Singla, who was always around Guruji. And I said, Mr. Singla, you think Guruji would like to have Sangat in the center of Delhi, like in, Aurangzeb Road? So he laughed. He said, no, Guruji is very happy. He's not going to do that. So anyway, basically, to make it short, I didn't buy that flat. By the way, if I had bought it, I would have used some stock options, for buying that flat. And something very bad happened. Those stock options expired without any value within a few months because they were about to expire. So that was Guruji's grace. That flat was basically coming to me free. And that flat is probably worth 25 crores. So anyway, that is whatever Guruji did was for us. But anyway, later on, what I found out was that Guruji really wanted to change the venue. He wanted to go somewhere else. When I found out about it, I felt so bad. I felt so guilty. I said, oh my God, Guruji asked me to do one thing which was for him. And in my own stupidity, without thinking about it, I didn't do that. So I felt so bad after that. So I then during that period, Guruji called me and he said, he asked me to come in the morning one day. So when I went to him in the morning, he said, and these are instructions, these are for all of us. So please listen very carefully. He said, अपने और गुरु के बीच में किसी को नहीं रखते. What I had done, I had gone to Singla, to find out about what Guruji was thinking. So his first instruction was, अपने और गुरु के बीच में किसी को नहीं लाते. Please, that's for all of us. Don't bring anybody between you and Guruji. It's a purely a one-to-one relationship. You are not going to learn anything about Guruji from anybody. And I'm saying that for myself, anybody else you listen to. You have to make your own effort and make your own contact with Guruji. Okay? His second instruction to me, where he gave me 2 phone numbers. And he said, this one is for Gaurav, my nephew, and the other one is my drivers. And he said, I have told both of them that any time you call, I'll take your call, I'll talk to you, even if I'm doing what part. So what he was saying basically is that he is available anytime. So please take it home. He is available whenever you want him. Problem is not at his end. Problem is always at our end. We don't approach him properly. We don't even try because we think he's inaccessible. He's very accessible, but we have to make an effort, and the effort is through meditation. So please meditate as much as you can, as much as time allows. That's the only way you'll contact him, and you'll enjoy what will happen after that. And meditation is very simple. It's Sangat. We call it Sangat, right? And Sangat, we sometimes misconstrue it. We think that, we have to have lots of people and we have to do this and we have to do that to have a Sangat. But, Sangat is with our Guru. Sangat is with Guru, not with lots of people. So you can do the Sangat, you can do your meditation anytime, anywhere. All you need is some peace and quiet and thought of Guruji in your head. Or maybe if Guruji's photograph in front of you with a diya burning. That's all it takes. Nothing more than that. He is very much available, very accessible. He told me that very clearly. He gave me 2 phone numbers, call me anytime. I'll talk to you. Even if I'm doing part, I'm available. So please, he is available. We are not available. His doors are open. Our doors are not open. We must start opening our own doors so we can make contact with him. I'll share with you now some of the things he specifically told us. And he told the same thing to everyone. His first instruction was, don't hurt anyone. And we can hurt people not just physically, we can hurt people emotionally, we can hurt people by hurting their feelings, we can hurt people financially, we can hurt people many ways. So please don't do that. That's how we basically create karmic problems. We have all come from him, we are all connected. So if we do something, exactly the same thing is going to happen to us because essentially we are doing it to ourselves. We are all connected. So please don't do anything that is not good to anyone else. Those are very clearly his instructions. Okay? The second instruction that he gave us was Gupt Jap and Gupt Dam. And Jap is Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. Later on, Sangat created in one more line, Om Namah Shivaya, Guruji Sada Sahai. Well, Guruji is of course Shivji, so it's same thing basically being repeated in a different word. But the mantra is just Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. So whenever you can, please repeat that in your mind as much as you can. And I'll share with you an episode, a humorous episode to illustrate that. जब मुझे यह समझ में आ गया कि गुरुजी को सब कुछ अंतर्यामी है, उनको सब मालूम है क्या हम सोच रहे हैं, तो when I would go to संगत, हमने कहा ये तो गड़बड़ हो गई है, something wrong may flash through my mind, something bad thought, ugly thought. तो ऐसा तो नहीं होना चाहिए, Guruji, I will be embarrassed. Guruji knows exactly what's going through my mind. तो मैंने ओम नमः शिवाय शिवजी सदा सहाय जाप करना शुरू कर दिया वहीं बैठ के चुपचाप। मैंने कहा मैं जाप करता हूँ तो of course because of jap no other thought will go through my mind. I'll not embarrass myself in front of my guru. So I used to do that all the time. One day Guruji called me in his room and he said, "ये बहुत अच्छा करता है, जाप करता है तो ऐसे ही किया कर." I wanted to illustrate that. He gave me a very good positive reinforcement. Of course, I was not doing the job for the sake of job. I was doing it to basically escape an embarrassing moment with him. But anyway, I want to share, आप लोग जाप करते रहिए जब भी हो सकते हैं आपसे. And you can make it just one line instead of two lines. Om Namah Shivaya, Shivji Sada Sahai. The other thing he said was Gupt Dan. And he said, Dan aisa kar, ki if you are doing it with the right hand, your left hand should not know about it. So it should be totally anonymous, if possible, and that's probably not feasible. But even the person who you are donating something to should not know where it came from. If you can do that, that'll be great. And do as much as you can, because in the end, you're donating to yourself. We are all connected. It's not going anywhere else. And some other time I'll share some episode, how personally I learned about it. Guruji himself told me about it once. But aap daan kariye jitna aapse ho sake. And it's not a one-way, stream. It'll come back, and it'll usually come back many-fold more than what you gave. And you have to trust Guruji about it. Then he said, his third instruction to us, or the next one was, do everything as an offering to Guru. This same instruction is there in Gita also. Basically, whatever we do as an offering to Lord does not create karma. So, I and Usha, my wife, were standing together when he was telling us this, giving us this instruction. And he looked at Usha at that moment and he said, "Lipstick bhi lagaya kar, to aisa lagaya kar ki Guru ke liye laga rahi hai." No, he was saying that everything that we do, howsoever ordinary, howsoever mundane they may be, please do it for your Guru. Do it as an offering. So take the I out of it, basically what he was saying. Don't do it for yourself. So let's say you want to start a business, right? Don't put I there, just do it for Guru. You are just there to start it and to manage it and do whatever is needed. Run it like a CEO maybe. But the business doesn't belong to you. It belongs to your Guru. And so the fruits of it should also be shared with Guru, with others. So, do everything as an offering to Guru, not for yourself. So these were his instructions. And of course, Mango Mat, Mano. And another instruction for him one day was, everything is temporary. So what had happened basically, we were going through a difficult situation, and Usha, my wife, was especially very disturbed about it. And a phone call comes. She picks up the phone. And on the other side, it's Guruji. And he says, "Main Guruji bol raha hu." And he says, everything is temporary. And then he just hang up after that. So very, very, well said, after that problem, of course, went away. It's all Guru's grace anyway. But please remember that everything is temporary. We all will go through some very difficult times. But it's all happening with his grace, with his full knowledge, under his eyes. And it will all also pass. Like we are going through a very difficult situation right now with coronavirus. And it shall also pass. It's also going to be temporary. So these are all instructions I'm sharing with Guruji. So hopefully, some of them for your benefit. Because, I had the good fortune of, being around him for some time. I was able to, get a few things directly from him. And those things are for sharing with you. Because, he has blessed me with many lives. At least 2 to my knowledge. So I guess he must have done it so that I could share some of his words with you. Other than that, I don't know what uses my life. Basically, I've done everything I could anyway. So what, I'll share with you how he gave me some lives. First was when in the year 2005, we were going to India from Singapore for Diwali. I had not been home for Diwali since 1970. So I figured, now we are in Singapore, we should go and celebrate Diwali at home. So we went, and the first thing we did, of course, we went to Sangat, and we told Guruji that we are going to Allahabad, our hometown, both my hometown and Usha's hometown. So Guruji looked at Usha. She was there with him. Not I was not there at that time. And she said, "क्यों गुरु के साथ नहीं मनाएंगे दिवाली?" So she put, of course, Usha at in a quandary. But then Guruji himself answered that. He said, "अच्छा ऐसा कर, गोवा वहाँ घूम के आ चलिया, दिवाली पे यहाँ जाना." So that's what we did. We went home for 2 days, before Diwali, and the night before, we boarded the train to come to Delhi. And I was feeling okay when the train left Allahabad. But in the morning, when I got up, I thought there was something wrong because I was feeling fine, but I could hardly walk. It was like I had tons of weight tied to my legs. I could hardly move. It was taking huge effort, to move at all. And of course, I had to climb the bridge also, to go to the other side and all that. So it was a Herculean task at that. But it always happens to all of us that we think, all this will be okay, will be fine. That was not going through my mind. But then later I realized that it's not okay. So I told Usha that we have to go to a hospital. And we were in Noida at that time. So the nearest hospital was Max. So we went there, and they took my oxygen level. It was very low. I'm not sure what it was. I can't remember it. But they were surprised I was alive. So they immediately put me in ICU there. And there was a Dr. Talwar who was on call at that time. And we told him that maybe we should change and go to a bigger hospital like Apollo or some other hospital like that. And then he laughed. He said, in Delhi, I'm one of the best asthma experts. And if you go to some other hospital right now, because of Diwali, you won't even have good doctors there available. I'm the best that is available in this area, and you are very lucky that you're here. So anyway, we were there at that time. We started getting Guruji's fragrance, so we knew things would be fine. So then Guruji had asked that Diwali be celebrated with him. So I was in the ICU, but I told Usha, you please go, spend a evening with Guruji in Sangat. So she went, and Guruji, of course, inquired about me, and then he, that was only formality. Of course, knew what was going on. And he gave Usha some langar or some prasad that he said, I should have. So she gave it to me when she returned. And after that, the recovery was very quick, very fast, miraculous. And then once I recovered, it took another 2 days. I was out of the hospital, very fast recovery. And I said, I must go and thank Guruji. So we went to Sangat that afternoon. And as I touched Guruji's feet, he said, second life. And I didn't understand what he was saying. So, गुरुजी बहुत जल्दी बोल देते थे कभी-कभी कुछ चीजें समझ में नहीं आती. Anyway, we were in their Sangat, and after some time Guruji asked us to leave. He knew that I was not well, so that I didn't keep us too long. And then while leaving, a young couple was sitting next to Guruji, and when I touched his feet, Guruji looked at them, and he looked and said to them, "Isko second life de di," So I, because he knew that I didn't understand when he said second life. And before that, actually, what had happened very initially, when in year 99 or so, Guruji told me to keep something. He said, I'll ask you for this, you'll have to give it to me one day. And this is going to be I thought he was saying it's a lifetime blessing. So I was very happy. What he had meant was a second life blessing, which he had given me at that time. And then he took that whatever I had in my pocket, because I used to carry it. So then he asked, after that, he immediately said, I gave whatever he had instructed me to carry in my pocket, I gave it to him. It was basically some, I can't remember it exactly, something like pan patta or whatever, few other things. So not pan patta, it was not something that would not go bad. I forgot what it was, but anyway, it was per his instructions. So that was the first time he blessed me with a new life. Another one was after we returned to Singapore. I took retirement in 2006. Came back and I was not well, and cancer was suspected. So they did, whatever the procedure is. Some of your doctors, how they check for cancer, right? What is it called? Irja, you're a doctor, right? You should give me the technical name.
Biopsy.
Biopsy, uncle?
Usha is saying biopsy. Okay, biopsy. So in biopsy, something went wrong. Something went wrong, and you know, I was started feeling terrible. With the next day. So I kept telling Usha, I'm fine. Like we all do. We all think everything will be fine. But I was shivering totally uncontrollably. I kept asking her to put blankets on me, and one blanket, two blankets, three, four, five blanket, and my shivering won't stop. So obviously something was wrong. Ambulance was ordered. I was taken to the nearest hospital. And there in the beginning, they couldn't figure out what was going on. I had septicemia, so which if you know about it, could be fatal. I'm told it's a 50% cases, it's fatal. So they didn't know what to do. I mean, septicemia, apparently there is no cure. So what the doctors were doing, they were pumping water, as much water as they could in my body to dilute the poison in my blood. Because essentially, the body would probably heal itself in time if it has enough time. The poison will go away. And of course, they were very concerned because my body was bloating with all the excess water. My heart was under too much pressure. It had to, pump all that heart, all that extra fluid, there, that was there in my body. 2 times the blood volume was water volume actually. So my heart was under, a lot of stress, and they were watching my heart. What happened actually? My heart did fail, but it, with Guruji's grace, it failed at the right time. Because I was in the ICU, the cardiologist with his team, was on call, was going making round, and they had come into my, room, and they had hooked me into whatever they had, whatever equipment they were carrying to monitor me, and that's when my heart failed. So it failed at precisely the best moment, the best time possible. The cardiologist with his whole team was there, and I was already hooked up to whatever the best equipment was that was needed. So they kept me alive. But things were not happening properly. Slowly, one by one, my organs were beginning to fail out. They were getting pretty close to failure. So at that time, Guruji called. Usha had come home. All our children had come. They were in the hospital with me. So Usha came back because of her youngest son, Uday, who was very young at that time. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, Guruji called. And Guruji said to Usha, Usha, tell me what is going on with uncle. And then Usha told him that septicemia ho gaya Guruji uncle ko. So, in a typical, Guruji's way of saying things, he said, septicemia kiya? Explain. मतलब बता ठीक से septicemia क्या होता है? So anyway, she explained, what is septicemia. So Guruji कहते कुछ नहीं होता, उसको जाके हल्दी नमक डाल दे उसके मुंह में, सब ठीक हो जाएगा. So she said, Guruji, उसके हल्दी मुंह, he's totally, in the ICU, and he's got all kind of ventilator and things like that everywhere. It's not possible to put anything in his mouth. Plus, there is a couple of nurses always there in the room because it's a very critical case. Guruji कहते नहीं जाके दे दे. So anyway, she brought some haldi and namak from home, and as she describes, I was not conscious that as soon as she entered the room, the 2 nurses who were there, they just left, like on a queue. So there was nobody there, so she was able to put namak and haldi in my mouth, and pretty soon thereafter, I started getting well, and recovery was very fast. I recovered. And the other thing that happened after, they removed me from ICU, they still kept me under observation because my heart rate and my blood pressure was extremely low. My heart rate was about, I don't know what it was, something in the 30s, 40s. It was extremely low. So they were very concerned whether I'll be able to survive even though I was not in ICU. So that news went to Guruji. So somebody told Guruji that Guruji, the heart rate is only this much, whatever it was. Guruji said, nahi, aisa kya? 72 kitta. He just said, waved his hands, 72 kitta. Jaake check kar. So it was Usha's sister who was there. So I asked Usha's sister to call Usha to check it, and she called Usha. So since I was not in ICU, the display was not in the room; it was in the central nursing station. So Usha walked out, and yes, definitely, my heart rate had just suddenly bumped up from whatever it was. It had become 72, and my blood pressure, like a miracle, had become normal. So all these things happened, very quickly, within a few days. And then, but since my heart had failed, the cardiologist didn't want me to leave without, final check. And the final check was basically angiogram, where they wanted to make sure that my heart was okay. So I started praying to Guruji. I'm like, okay, if they are doing the angiogram, they'll definitely put some kind of a stent or something in my heart, in my body. And I said, Guruji, you gave me this body. I don't want anything artificial going in it. Please, Guruji, that was my wife praying so much. I said, I don't want anything artificial in my body. So anyway, they were doing this procedure on me, and of course, I was unconscious for it. But as the procedure was over and I was beginning to gain consciousness, I overheard what was happening. Dr. Doucet, that was the name of the cardiologist, he was in complete disbelief. He did not believe that I'm the same person whose heart had failed, in front of him. And because I was showing no signs of any stress or nothing, my heart was perfect, like a young person's heart, and he couldn't believe it. So you're asking his assistants again and again, can he check the name again? And he just wanted to make sure that he's the same person. So anyway, and after that, he came out and he was talking to one of the cardiologist friend we had, who had also gone there just because, he was a friend, Dr. Manhas, and they knew each other. So he was telling Dr. Manhas that I can't believe what has happened. Maybe it's happened because, he's got so many friends and family, because every day so many people would come to see him. So he said, maybe it's because of that, maybe being around him with so many people, maybe he's healing very quickly. But he says, I can't believe what had happened. Of course, what had happened was Guruji. Guruji gave me a new heart. And he gave me a new heart. Because after that, I used to jog at that time. After that, jogging became suddenly much easier. Once I recovered and I started jogging again, I realized that I could jog much easier, longer, without as much effort. So of course, he has given me not just saved me, but he basically renewed my body at that time. So that was another way, another life that he gave me at that time. So I wanted to share that with you. Everything I have today is with Guruji's grace. And, I think my time is up, but some other time, when we have another opportunity, I'll share many of his experiences, which all had some lessons for me, which are lessons for all of us, actually. So with that, I'd like to close. But what I'd like to say is Guruji was a very simple person. So please let us all try to be simple. Let's not complicate our life unnecessarily with a lot of paraphernalia, with a lot of materialistic desires. Our Guruji is there. He'll take care of everything. Just do whatever we have to do. Don't worry about it. Don't be fearful of anything. Live a very good life, happy life. Live the life to fullest, doing whatever you want to do. And please rest assured, have full faith in Guruji, that he's always there with you and he'll take care of things. And of course, there'll be some ups and downs, but downs will be very small, ups will be very high. You all have nothing but to enjoy. We have been blessed with having a Sadguru, and Sadguru no other than Lord himself. There is no higher blessing possible. So, Jai Guruji. But 1 hour is up. My time is up, I think. So I'll stop now.
अंकल हम तो सुन सकते हैं और इफ यू आर ओके टॉकिंग मोर हम तो सुनने के लिए बिल्कुल रेडी हैं क्योंकि हम तो बहुत ग्रीडी हैं इस मामले में सो इफ यू वांट टू गो ऑन प्लीज डू बट इफ यू आर नॉट कंफर्टेबल अगर आपके लिए लगता है आपको बहुत हो गया देन वी कैन डू इट सम अदर टाइम
No, if you want I can share a few experiences which were very meaningful for me, which have
please do
for all of us.
Please do. Thank you.
Yeah, one of the experiences I shared was right in the beginning after it was December of 1999, exactly a year after I met Guruji. And I did not know that Guruji had built a Bade Mandir, because I would go there, I didn't talk to anybody. I just always would go for Guruji and essentially didn't talk to anybody. I was not bothered about anything else. I was going to see him, basically offer my respects and come back. So I did not even know that there was a Bade Mandir. So one day Guruji says, there were only 5 or 10 of us left, Guruji said, Chalo Bade Mandir chalte hain. So at that time, my uncle was also there. So my uncle said, why don't we go in my car? On the way there, it was pretty late at night, past midnight. My uncle was really angry because at that time, on that day, what had happened, a particular IAS officer that was very notorious as a very, very corrupt officer had come. And it used to apparently happen in the past too, that whenever an investigation would go on against this particular person, she would come and Guruji would, she would just force herself for Guruji unke pair dabati thi, whatever she would do, and she would get Guruji's blessings and the file of investigation will be closed, just miraculously. So he was very unhappy because he saw the same thing happen that day. That lady came and she was pressing Guruji's legs, and he was very, very angry. He was a retired police officer. He was the DG for police in UP and DG for police in Assam, DG for BSF. So, he had done all this. And his son was at that time BIG and CBI in New Delhi. So he knew what was going on with this inquiry. So he was very angry. And all through the journey from Empire State to Bade Mandir, he was fuming. He was just saying again and again, Guruji sabko bless kar dete hain. कभी नहीं सोचते कि कौन किसको bless कर रहे हैं, blessing करने लायक है ये आदमी. Many of these people should be in jail. They should not even be out. They are such a nuisance for the society. Such a problem for the rest of us. And he kept saying things like that. So anyway, we went to temple, Bade Mandir. हम लोग की कार पहले पहुंच गई थी. गुरुजी की कार उसमें आई नहीं थी. We came outside. We were standing in front of Bade Mandir, waiting for Guruji to come. So Guruji came a few minutes after we were there. Came from behind. Of course, we knew Guruji was there with his fragrance. Guruji passed us, went only about 5 yards, then stopped, turned around, looked at my uncle straight and said, Mahapurushon ki kripa har par barabbar. These were his exact words. So there's a lesson for all of us. We are all equally blessed. There is absolutely no hierarchy. Never ever think that person X is more blessed, or person Y is more blessed, or person X knows a little more, so you can learn something from him. That's absolutely, throw that out of your mind altogether. Because I hear occasionally people say, "Oh, Guruji ke kafi kareeb tha, Guruji ko janta tha." That nothing like that. No one knows anything about Guruji. I can tell you this. You have to learn all that yourself. Nobody can tell you anything about it. You must make your own contact, make your own effort, and learn everything yourself. और उनकी कृपा हर पर बराबर है. He is not differentiating. We are all his children. Some of us may be more mischievous, some of us are simpler, some of us may be good, some of us not so good, but we are all his children. So he is equally benevolent for all of us. And none of us there is no hierarchy at all in this. So that is very important to realize. Don't put anybody on a pedestal thinking that this person knows a lot more than I and I will learn something from this person about Guruji. Get that out of your mind altogether. It's totally a one-to-one game. You must make your own effort. You must learn yourself. You must make your own contact. I'll share one more experience. This happened right in the beginning. 28th of December, 1998, when we went there. As I shared, the place was very crowded and we found different places to sit. So anyway, I was sitting separately. Usha was somewhere else, with me too, and Chachaji was somewhere else. And suddenly a gentleman comes and sat next to me and looks at, turns to me and spoke in Hindi. He says, "Aapko Guruji ke baare mein kuch malum hai?" His words were so good to me because everybody was there from Punjab, speaking Punjabi, and as a Hindi speaking person, mujhe bahut acha laga. The next thing he says, I'm in the Rajput regiment. My name is Major Gyan Singh. Oh, I was really feeling good because I am also a Rajput. So here is a Rajput speaking Hindi, and he is from the army. I have so many family members in the army. So suddenly, I started feeling very good. There's kinship here. I'm comfortable with this person. So then he said, "Aapko Guruji ke baare mein batata hu." Then he started talking about Guruji, and he said nothing that is extraordinary. He said things like, "It doesn't matter where you're sitting. Don't worry about it. He knows exactly where everybody is. He knows everything. You don't have to talk to Guruji at all because he already knows everything that there is to know. Don't worry about, whether you are able to touch him, where you're sitting, whether he's talking to you. All these things are immaterial." So he kept going on like this, for all the time I was there. Of course, there were some breaks. We got up for prasad and we washed our hands, came back. And every time the gentleman somehow managed to be next to me, even though it was such a crowded place. And this katha went on. And it was a beautiful symphony, the most beautiful symphony for my ears. And he was not sharing anything that was extraordinary that I didn't know. But I just felt so good. I was so happy. I wish that it would never stop and I'll be there and he'll keep talking. So anyway, that was 28th December 1998. Same thing repeated next day on 29th December 1998. Again, place was very crowded. We were sitting separately. Again, the same gentleman somehow come, next to me, and again he starts the same, beautiful symphony. And I was not learning anything. There was nothing to learn, but it was so beautiful listening to him. It was such an exhilarating experience. I don't have words to describe. And same thing happened the next day, December 30th. So anyway, and then he asked me on 30th whether I'm coming the next day to celebrate the New Year Eve with Guruji. And we had made some other plans, and I didn't know much about Guruji at that time. So I made the mistake of telling him, no, we won't come. So we didn't go on 31st December. But anyway, for those 3 days, Major Gyan Singh was next to me, doing nothing except talking about Guruji. And it was such a beautiful experience. He didn't tell me anything that I didn't already know about God, or, you already don't know about God. We knew that when we were 10-year-old or 12 years old. But it was such a beautiful experience. Anyway, and he said he's been around Guruji for 17 years, and every time, wherever Guruji is, Guruji gets him posted there so that he can be in the Sangat all the time. So, he said those things too. So after that, I would go to Guruji's Sangat and I would look for Major Gyan Singh. I didn't see Major Gyan Singh. So after a year or two passed, मैंने कहा ये तो कोई Major Gyan Singh दिखते ही नहीं, and he told me that he's always there in the Sangat. What is happening here? So मैं उससे किसी से बात नहीं करता था. Then I started asking Singla, and there used to be Mr. Kakkad, and probably I think I also asked Colonel Joshi. आप लोग जानते हैं कोई Major Gyan Singh? There is no Major Gyan Singh. Absolutely not. So basically I was very uncomfortable, and I really had a sincere desire to know about Guruji, and suddenly this gentleman is created. And I didn't learn anything about Guruji, but I just felt so good. So lesson for me and lesson for all of us is, if you have a sincere desire to learn about Guruji, you will learn that. Don't worry about how you learn. You will learn it, because Guruji will make sure that that such innocent, pure desire will be fulfilled. So whatever you need to know about Guruji, you learn that yourself. Don't worry about you going to too many centers to learn all these things. You learn that. Just have full faith. Do your meditation, and all these things will happen properly. Another episode that happened, which was the next visit to Guruji, was I did not know about the geography of the area very well. So I thought Empire State was on the Mehrauli Gurgaon Road. I thought it was Mehrauli Gurgaon Road. It was actually Delhi Gurgaon Road that Empire State was on. But since we were going from Mehrauli to Big Chauraha toward Gurgaon, I thought it was Mehrauli Gurgaon Road. So next time I went for Sangat, I was myself. So I got a taxi and I told him, take me to Mehrauli Gurgaon Road, because I figured, once I'm on the right road, I'll see the places on the left, I'll recognize it. I recognize some landmarks there. So, we went to Mehrauli Gurgaon Road. We ended up in Gurgaon, and there is no Empire State. So I said, no, let's go back. We went back, and I still didn't see that. And the road was very different. It was a narrow road, more winding, with different kind of, old Haveli type, structures there. So मुझे समझ में आ गया कुछ गड़बड़ी करने कर दी. So my uncle had given me a phone number to call. So मैंने कहा, let me call this number. So I called that number, and the gentleman who answered the phone, मैंने उनको बताया कि I'm lost, I'm on Mehrauli Gurgaon Road. तो उन्होंने बताया you're on the wrong road. उन्होंने बड़ी अच्छी तरह समझाया किस तरह से how to go back to the correct road and how to go to Empire State. So I gave the phone to taxi driver too, and he also talked to the gentleman. So anyway, very quickly thereafter, we were at Empire State. मैंने गए संगत वगैरह attend करी. At the end of Sangat, the thought occurred to me कि ऐसा है कि somebody was so kind, so nice, gave me such good direction, so I must thank that person. तो वहाँ से जो सेवादार थे, मैंने उनसे पूछा कि मैंने फोन किया था, किसी ने बहुत अच्छे डायरेक्शन दिए थे, I would like to thank that person. Everybody was surprised. So the answer was कि यहाँ पे तो कोई फोन उठाता नहीं है. जब एक बार संगत शुरू हो जाती है, तो गुरुजी के instructions say that nobody picks up the phone. So nobody picked up the phone, but somebody gave me directions. I was able to get there. And I think the lesson for me was, and that lesson for all of us actually, is if you have a sincere desire to reach Guruji, you will get there. He'll make sure you get there. You don't have to worry about it. So that's a lesson that I got from it, which I want to share with you. If you have a sincere desire to reach Guruji, to make that connection, it'll happen. Have full faith. Don't worry about it. And I'll share maybe one more. I shared with you that my routine used to be that on Thursday I'll go and I reach, New Delhi airport around 9 o'clock or something. I'll go directly to the Sangat on Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, I'll go to Sangat. Sunday, I'll go to Sangat, and then from there I'll go directly to the airport, catch the night flight, which was at 11:15 p.m. Singapore Airlines flight back to Singapore. So I used to do that all the time. Once, I think it must have been year 2001 or year 2002, I thought I'm going to my guru. So why should I leave on my own? He should tell me when to go. I should leave by according to his wish. So I don't know how that thought came to me. I can't explain it. So that day I decided I'm not going to leave till Guruji tells me to leave. And that day I was with my Chachaji and Usha was there too and some other family members. So I used to usually get up around 8:30 and leave to make my 11:15 flight. Because with 8:30, I'll be there at the airport no later than 9:15 p.m. 2 hours, and that'll give me enough time, to get my boarding pass and board the plane, etc. So it was getting very late. It was past 8:30. It was probably around 9 o'clock, and my uncle was getting very nervous. So he started nudging me, get up, get up, get up. You will miss your flight. Why are you sitting? Well, for some time I ignored him, but you can't ignore your own, family elder. मैंने कहा मैं उठ जाता हूँ. मैं उठ के गया गुरुजी की तरफ. गुरुजी दूर से मुस्कुराए, कहते हैं बैठ जा, तेरी flight cancel. And I had not even told Guruji that I had to catch a flight. But of course, he knew everything. So I went back. मैंने कहा अंकल से मैंने बोला कि गुरुजी बोलते हैं flight cancel. तो मैं बैठता हूँ. He was also relieved. चलो भाई flight ही cancel हो गई, ठीक है, you can sit. So then, but around 10 o'clock or something like that, suddenly Guruji waves. कहते हैं अब जा. So I touched Guruji's feet and came out of the Sangat. My uncle also came out actually, and Usha also came out, other people. And uncle even told me, he said, अब तो तुम्हारी flight मिलने वाली नहीं है. You might as well come back from the airport, and we probably still be here. So we'll go back home together. I got ठीक है. So I went to the airport. It was the old airport. I think some of you may have seen that one. There used to be 4 gates to enter the airport. And as usual, that day also, it was a very chaotic, very crowded, disorganized, noisy environment. But I couldn't believe it. Airport used to be pretty small, and you could see the gates, basically. And I saw that there's nobody at any of the gates. Basically all the gates were there. There was nobody there. All the place was wholly crowded. I can't explain it. Neither can I understood it at that time what was going on. There are thousands of people. Very chaotic scene, just like every time. But getting into the airport used to take time. It would take 10, 15, 20 minutes sometimes. And that day there was nobody at any of the gates, although the place was extremely crowded. So I just walked through gate number 3, which used to be the gate, for Singapore Airlines. Their counter used to be in front because it was a small airport. So I entered the gate, enter the airport area, and I see that there's no counter for Singapore Airlines, no signage. I was surprised. What happened? So I asked the policeman, who checks your passport, let you get in. I said, यहाँ पे तो Singapore Airlines counter था. What happened? So he said, ऐसा है कि आप बहुत late आए हैं, so they have taken the sign off, but you go there, maybe somebody will be there. So I proceeded to the counter, and someone came from a cabin behind and asked me if my name was, Mr. MP Singh, and then he handed me my boarding pass. So that was okay. I was not too surprised by that, because Singapore Airlines used to have the practice that they will pre-print the boarding cards for the first class and business class passengers. I thought maybe I'm the only one left, and that is the only boarding pass left, so he gave it to me. So anyway, I went after that. The next thing is, of course, going through immigration. I filled my card, whatever embarkation card or whatever they have, and then I couldn't believe what I was seeing. There were 6 or 8 lines for immigration. And it used to be always very crowded, and the airport was crowded. There were people everywhere, but there was not a single person in any of those lines. Not a single person. So I just walked through one of those, lines. The next hurdle, of course, used to be security. At that time, there were 2 tall security gates in the airport. You have to go through that, before you go to the boarding area. And there used to be always invariably very, very long lines. And that day, the airport is full. It's all people everywhere. It was noisy. Again, typical environment, as always. but there was not a single person on any of those two gates. So I just walked through one of the gates, approached the boarding gate. I was the last one to, board the plane. And within a few minutes of, me being in my seat, they closed the door and the plane took off. So it probably didn't take more than 10 to 12 minutes, for me to go from outside all the way to the airplane. It was just, I was basically walking all the way. There was no lines, nobody anywhere. So anyway, next morning when I got to Singapore, later on I called Usha. She was still in Delhi. So I said, today when you go to, Guruji, please thank him, for making my flight, boarding so easy, so simple. And then next day she calls me, says, you won't believe, I didn't even have to say anything. I was touched Guruji's feet and Guruji himself said, Uncle, ki boarding kaisi thi bata? So beautifully arranged. And, just to make sure that you don't have any doubts in your mind, he would explain also, how it happened. So, but, again, I'm sharing this with you because it's not just something very miraculous, but there's a lesson. See, what had happened that day, inadvertently, without, I had not thought about it. It was not a planned thing. Inadvertently, I had surrendered, right? I had decided that day, for on a whim or whatever, that I'm not going to get up till my Guruji tells me to get up and go. So what I had done, I had surrendered. I had left myself to my Guruji's wish, left him myself in his hands. And of course, when I did that, I saw what happened. But it took me many years to realize that. But now, since I've realized it, I'm sharing it with you. That please surrender. Please don't run after the outcomes of what you're doing. Just do what you need to do. That's all. Leave everything else to him. Everything else will turn out very beautiful. So surrendering is very important. इसीलिए गुरुजी कहते थे, मांगो मत, मानो. That's very important to realize why he said that. Just believe in him, have faith in him, and trust him. Trust him fully. Everything will be perfect. Don't need to worry about anything. There are many other things I want to share. Maybe I should share a couple more episodes, because there are always beautiful lessons in it, for all of us. And another thing I learned is Guruji is available immediately. When you absolutely depend on him and nobody else, he is there and he is there. And I'll share a couple of experiences. When we went to Singapore in '96 on an expat assignment, I had a US passport, which I had an Indian passport. We had purposely kept it like that, figuring that one of us will be US citizen, one will be Indian citizen. But in Singapore, of course, in the US has a rule that if you are overseas citizen on a green card, you need to go back every 6 months or whatever, to basically keep renewing your green card. And I didn't think about it. The first time, we didn't get to go back to US for another 9 or 10 months or whatever. And then I realized before going back that, my God, Usha's probably green card expired. So we went to the embassy, got a new, visa for her, tourist visa and all that. But with Guruji's grace, when we went to US, when she went to US, the immigration people were very surprised that she needed a tourist visa. You have a green card. Why do you need a visa? So anyway, and after that experience, she ended up getting a US passport in that trip. So she came back with a US passport, but she didn't surrender her Indian passport. I didn't think about it. So she ended up with both an Indian passport, a valid Indian passport, and a valid US passport. So for going to India from Singapore, which used to be often, I would have, with my US passport, I needed a visa, so I'll get a visa each time, or whatever the rule was at that time. I think they were giving multiple entry visas also. So, but I figured, she has a Indian passport, so why should I bother? We don't even need to bother with it. Just enter India on Indian passport, and when you come back to Singapore, you show your US passport. So it is not the legal thing to do, because India doesn't allow two passports. But that's what we did. And we kept doing that. We kept in the same routine. It was just a purely, matter of laziness, I guess, more than anything else. But one day, we were in India, and I had purchased actually around the world ticket. So our next stop after near Delhi was London, and I didn't think about it. So she entered India on Indian passport. Now the next flight we have a few days later, we have to go to London. So so for immigration, she showed her Indian passport. So now they are looking for her, UK visa, and there's no UK visa on her passport. Indian passport. So, and then he started quizzing us, how are we going to go to UK? We don't have a visa. So I was getting irritated. I said, how does it matter to you? It's our problem, we'll figure it out. But then he got very angry. He said, yeah, that's my job. I can't let you board till you have appropriate documents. So then I ended up explaining to him that, she has a US passport too. And he was so annoyed. He said, your wife has two passports? I said, yes. He said, that's illegal. You can't do that. Then he said, let me take you to my boss. So, took us to his boss, the big office at the airport. Where it was a long walk from the immigration counter. And boss must have been one of those administrative officers, IS right officer. He was very rude, very abrupt. His instructions, this gentleman who took us there was unload their baggage and start the procedure to prosecute them. So I'm like, oh my God, so my laziness is going to end up costing me a lot now. So as we were exiting that office, I just thought of Guruji. I said, Guruji, only you can get me out of this trouble. And as I was saying that in my mind to Guruji, this man who took us there, who's been ordered by his boss to unload our baggage and to start a procedure to prosecute us, he looks at me, he says, Aapka naam Singh hai, aap Thakur hain. Thakurs are people, Rajputs are called Thakurs in central India, like Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, etc. So I said, yes, we are Thakurs. And Thakurs are typically landlords, in the villages. So he said, मेरे गांव में मेरे ठाकुरों ने मेरा बहुत भला किया है, मुझे बहुत हेल्प किया है. Now suddenly, I can't believe he's saying this. And he said, अगर आप पासपोर्ट अपना सरेंडर कर दें जब वापस जाके, तो मैं आपको जाने दूंगा. I couldn't believe my ears, Here is this man who's been ordered by his boss to unload our baggage and to start procedure for whatever, for prosecution or whatever. He's now telling me that I'll let you go if you surrender your passport upon your return. मैंने कहा, if you want, I'll give you my passport right away. Your passport. He said, नहीं, ऐसा जरूरत नहीं है, but once you go back to Singapore, please surrender your passport to the Indian embassy there, Indian High Commission. मैंने कहा, बिल्कुल हम करेंगे. So, I wanted to share that with you because I needed, nobody else could have helped us at that moment. And it was a very, very, very difficult, precarious situation we were in unnecessarily by my own, laziness. Guruji, I just had to say, Guruji, please, only you can help me. I was saying that in my mind, this man, completely changes his mind, and I don't know what happened, but it's all Guruji's miracle, basically. So please have faith. When you need Guruji, he'll come to your rescue. I'll share another, because there used to be a Shabad, that used to play, not from Guru Granth Sahib, but, Bhajan used to play, "Jab koi nahi aata, to Guruji aate hain." And Guruji would often tell us, everyone, that, when you can't count on anyone else, when you have given up completely, it's only your Guru who will take care of you. And I went through so many episodes like this. So I'll share one of them with you. On returning here, I was involved in a financial project, and there was a lot at stake. And the gentleman who was working with us, instead of helping me, he started doing some very funny things. Now, I had paid him to help me, basically, but instead of helping me, he just started butchering everything I was doing. And I was getting very concerned that all my hard work at stake gone down the drain. But I didn't know what to do. Because this person was just not doing anything right. He was just doing everything. It was like he was going out of his way to actually hurt me rather than help me. It was a very personal issue. Basically, I'm not giving you much details. I was so much stressed. All the time I used to think, how do I manage this man? So he does what he's expected to do. Not, it's totally changed, doing something, totally different. So one day, I've taken my son for his tennis lesson. So I was with all these worries, I was feeling very tired. It happens, you're worried, your energy level goes very low. You are not thinking about much else. So instead of going back home, I just parked my car in front of the tennis academy, and I was so tired I just fell asleep. And the car engine was not on. I probably slept for 20-25 minutes, and then I suddenly wake up and there is a CD playing. And I had not put that CD in the car. neither had the car engine been turned on to play the CD. You can turn it halfway, right, to turn on the battery so something can play on the radio, etc. I had not done that. But here is a CD playing, and that's that Shabad, that Kirtan that I told you about was playing. जब कोई नहीं आता तो गुरुजी आते हैं. So I mean, I didn't at that time I didn't pay any attention. It was nice to listen to it, but I was very puzzled. How come that CD was playing when I had not turned on the car and I had not put in that CD there? But next morning, something very miraculous happened. Without me doing anything, this other gentleman was become such a problem and hurdle for me. Calls and he starts apologizing profusely, saying how sorry he was for not misunderstanding what was needed of him and this and that. He said, "Please forgive me. I didn't understand what was going on. Now I understand the situation very well, and I'll do this that." And this was purely, totally changed person. This happened just, this is immediately after, this, I heard this CD. So, I, of course, it could have happened otherwise, but Guruji कहते थे, कभी-कभी मैं शक्ति लगाता हूँ, समझ नहीं पाते हैं लोग. So I think he made me listen to that CD, so I understood why that happened. It was purely Guruji's grace. When nothing else works, when you are totally at a dead end, he'll not let go. He'll be there for you. So I think I have said enough. I think maybe another time, there's an unending, stream of episodes that we can all share, which we can enjoy. But, my message to you is please have full faith in your Guru. If you accept him as a Guru, just leave things to him. Enjoy life. Life should be without any fear, without any worries. That's how Guruji would like us to live. Because his message to us, all of us, is Ash Karo. Enjoy life. Just live a full life and do whatever you want to do with full faith that whatever the outcome will be best. Sometimes it may take us time to realize that maybe outcome may not be exactly as we wanted, but later on we will realize that it was the best. And sometimes there will be ups and downs, but please enjoy the downs as much as you enjoy the ups. And keep in mind what Guruji said. Everything is temporary. If something is ugly and bad is happening, that also will come to pass. So with that, I'd like to end. Jai Guruji. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Uncle. इतने humble सत्संग और आपकी इतनी beautiful journey में से आपने just so beautifully you shared all these wonderful pearls of wisdom. Just so beautiful, and itna faith reinforce करने के लिए it was food for the soul on such a special day. So शुक्राना to Guruji and to you, and Usha auntie अगर 1 minute के लिए free हैं तो I know I saw her पर अब दिख नहीं रही हैं, but if she is free, Usha auntie, can you say a few words also, please?
Let me see if I can find her. Yeah, she's there. I can see her.
Yeah, she's there.
You have to unmute yourself, Usha.
Yes. Yeah.
अरे इससे बढ़िया क्या बात हो सकती है, ये तो और भी ब्यूटीफुल हो गया from the same video. Jai Guruji auntie.
Jai Guruji, Jai Guruji. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, absolutely, and so good to see both of you.
Thank you. It is a blessing. I think the best blessing is जब जैसे आप मोहित एक साथ बैठे हैं और गुरुजी से जुड़े हुए हैं.
Auntie Rajesh.
I mean, sorry, Rajesh. ये बहुत ही गुरुजी की सबसे बड़ी ब्लेसिंग है कि हाउ जी ब्लेस करते हैं. गुरुजी कहते थे कि मुझे बड़ी खुशी होती है जब मिल करके आते हैं और सारा परिवार जुड़ के आता है और ब्लेसिंग गुरुजी और भी देते हैं. And I think that's why we can forward as much as we can. We have somebody to support us, and we can move forward in spiritualism towards Guruji, and Guruji कहते हैं और खुश होते हैं गुरुजी. And आज का जो MP जी ने सत्संग सुनाया है, it's so beautiful and so many lessons. I was also listening from the other room because we don't want to disturb when somebody is sharing, and it's really, really beautiful. It's not because he's my husband, but he just shares really the deep meaning of Guruji, wisdom of the teachings of Guruji. And all are learning. I'm also learning from his deep faith. He's very silent and very private person. He doesn't talk too much. I'm the talker of the house. I like to talk. But it's amazing. I think the main thing is एक चीज इन्होंने share नहीं करी है जो मैं share करना चाहती हूँ, which is very very important. Is that जब हम लोग को गुरुजी ने यहाँ भेजा था इस घर में, was 2006 में, so of course we were very distraught because we didn't want to leave Guruji, and Guruji wanted us to come back because Guruji knew he was going to leave this chola and he wanted us to settle down and bless us before he leaves the body. So बार-बार हम लोग को force कर रहे थे जाने के लिए, and then he said जा उठे जा अपनी कुड़ियां दा ब्याह कर फारिग हो. That's what he used to tell him, both of us, and he used to just push us कि जल्दी जल्दी लड़कियों की शादी करो. So then when we came here, we were kind of, missing Guruji so much. And as you all know, like 27th of May 2007 was the last satsang. It was a Sunday that day, and today is 27. So after Guruji left, we were like orphans. But then MP ji ko Guruji ne dream mein aaya, which he says he never gets dreams much. He cannot see Om, he says he doesn't get those, but he has a dream. Where Guruji, he woke up from his sleep and Guruji said, जा बाहर घर के बाहर एक बनवा के ला name plate Guruji Niwas, and he even showed the font कैसे लिखा जाएगा Guruji Niwas, and that's what he told him. And he got up and he said ऐसे ऐसे आया, and he was so, and then he started looking at the internet and he found, and उस समय our oldest daughter Neha was getting married, and that's when somebody was coming, my sister was coming, and he showed everything and she got it from there. So, and then जब उन्होंने लगाया उसको बाहर गुरुजी निवास लगाया जो नेम प्लेट लिखा था, उसके बाद से गुरुजी ने अपनी प्रेजेंस दिखानी शुरू कर दी. There were so many instances. जैसे जैसे आपको
one of the things that used to happen 4 o'clock in the morning, we would listen to a flush running every morning at 4 o'clock on the dot. Now I couldn't figure out where this flush is running. So समझ में नहीं आता था, तो मैंने सोचा कि शायद बगल के घर से आता हो. But how can the house, the house is not adjacent to us anyway, so it's a little bit away. But समझ बिल्कुल, I couldn't explain it. मैंने कहा वहीं से आवाज आती होगी क्योंकि हम घर में तो कोई flush नहीं चल रहा है. I even asked the contractor, who was working, मैंने कहा बाहर flush की आवाज आती है, you think this is from the next house? वो भी हंसने लगा. मैंने कहा क्या बात कर रहे हैं, how can you hear the flush in the other house? But then I realized Guruji is showing his presence, that he is very much here, and he wants us, and that is his way of showing his presence. Once the thought came, and once I realized it, then there was no more flush running at 4 o'clock. So there many things like that happen. So he basically made us aware that he is very much here with us, even though he's not in his body, and everything has continued basically as before. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, although of course I miss him physically, not having to see him physically or to be with him, but he's very much aware. I'm very much going through the same experiences all the time that I used to go when he was in his body. No difference at all, no difference whatsoever.
And also पूरी windows में शिवलिंग बन जाती है. Every evening it starts forming, धीरे इतनी बड़ी बन जाती है. सुबह उठते हैं तो इतनी बड़ी शिवलिंग, and all of a sudden हमारा front door खुल जाता है, खुला रहता है, लॉक करके सोते हैं. So we are not worried. सुबह उठी हूँ मैं, एक बार मैं उठी और मेरा front door more than a feet इतना खुला हुआ था, and I looked around. मैंने सोचा शायद son, they must have gone for jogging or something, but he was still sleeping. He was sleeping. The three of us were home, and I understood कि गुरुजी करते हैं, and then I just told गुरुजी आप जाया करो तो दरवाजा बंद कर दिया करो please. So it just happens. All of a sudden at 2 o'clock one day the garage door opened. Imagine the garage अपने आप से खुल जाता है. And of course instinct जो होता है घबरा जाती है कौन break in हो गया, कोई आ गया garage में. And it was so funny. MPG went through the front door towards the garage. I went through from inside, and we both met there. There was nobody there, and garage was open. So these are just the signs that Guruji shows, makes his presence felt, and he makes us understand that हम कहते थे अब गुरुजी नहीं, अब कैसे होगा, क्या होगा? And once he showed us किस तरह से वहाँ गुरुजी निवास. This house is dedicated to Guruji. It's not a house. We just caretakers. Just clean it up. Whatever we have to do, everything is his doing. Everything is his doing.
I shared this message earlier. You do everything as an offering to Guruji. So the way to look at it is, if you can internalize it, you're living in a house that is Guruji's house. Of course, you have to take care of it. You have to clean it. You have to manage it. You have to do everything that needs to be done. But it is not your house. It is Guruji's house.
And that's exactly what started happening. Then when we just didn't do anything, it was just Guruji's. He started sending Sangat from India. So many Sangat he sent. Lost count really. And we knew nobody, like MPG also is a very private person. He doesn't chat with many people. And I also don't call anybody in India, as he has told so many times कि Guruji's direct connection बनाओ, किसी के पीछे नहीं भागना है. So I never try to reach out to anybody. पर जब अपने आप लोग आने लगे, that's when we realized कि Guruji is sending संगत, and Guruji कहते हैं संगत के थ्रू मैं आता हूँ. संगत के थ्रू Guruji आए, it's just such an amazing journey. 2007 से इस घर में जो गुरुजी ने सत्संग कराना शुरू किया था, 2017 तक इसी जी निवास में सत्संग होता था. कहाँ 2 से 4, 6, 10 ऐसे हैं. और कई लोग हैं जैसे बीना is also part of Seattle Sangat. She used to come and Manju, so they have seen it grow, how it grew. And also नए संगत को गुरुजी बुलाते थे और किसी ने भी नहीं गुरुजी को देखा हुआ है. I mean, Veena and Manju haven't seen Guruji. Nobody has seen. Only maybe 5 people in the Sangat who are there have seen Guruji.
Usha aunty, Ekta ने भी join किया हुआ है, Ekta Kapoor ने ना?
Oh yes, Ekta, I see that.
She's also there.
Right. I see Ekta. Yeah. Ekta is also Seattle Sangat. She has such beautiful satsang to share. It is so amazing journey for them. I'm so happy Guruji ने इतनी blessing दिया, उन लोगों को California भेजा. Beautiful. Very, very happy. So इतने लोगों को गुरुजी ने bless किया है, ऐसे bless किया है, बैठे bless किया है. And 4 से 6 ऐसे करते कैसे 10 साल तक, I don't even know how the satsang had went, So 150, 200 जितने भी लोग आते थे, I don't know how it happened. So he does everything. हमें बस अपने हाथ पैर चलाने, सारा कुछ गुरुजी अपने आप ही करते हैं. So that's all I want to share. और काफी देर हो गई है आप सब लोगों को, यहाँ 10:30 बजे रात के.
उषा आंटी, MP अंकल, वीना दीदी कुछ बोलना चाहती है. If you have just a couple of minutes more, sorry, मुझे पता है आपको बहुत देर हो गई
ना. अच्छी बातें बोलना.
वीना दीदी अनम्यूट कर लीजिए.
जय गुरु जी.
जय गुरु जी.
भाभी जी, अगर आप कल चाय पिलाओगी तो मैं अच्छी बात बोलूंगी आपके लिए. ठीक है. मैं भाई साहब, थैंक यू सो मच. आपने इतने टाइम तो बहुत लगा दिया LA के लिए, हम लोगों के ग्रुप के लिए सत्संग करने के लिए. बहुत इंतजार करवाया आपने. तो आप जो आपने बोला है कि आगे फिर शेयर करेंगे तो थोड़ा जल्दी कीजिएगा, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने बहुत वेट किया. लेकिन हाँ, मैं अपने आप को अभी भी सियाटल का ही मानती हूँ, क्योंकि मैं एवरी थर्सडे ज्वाइन करती हूँ. मैं LA संगत को एक चीज बताना चाहती हूँ कि हम लोगों को गुरुजी से कनेक्ट करने में मतलब भाई साहब भाभी जी का बहुत बड़ा हाथ है. भाई साहब ने हम लोगों को हर बार सत्संग होने के बाद भाई साहब इतने अच्छे से हमें समझाते थे कि कैसे गुरुजी से कनेक्ट करना है और कैसे सत्संग करने हैं, कैसे मतलब पूरा मेडिटेशन करना है, एवरीथिंग. भाई साहब ने 10 साल हम लोगों को ये चीज रिपीट करके गुरुजी से कनेक्ट करवाया, और स्पेशली मेरे हर सवाल का जवाब भाई साहब देते थे। जैसे भाई साहब ने अभी शंकराचार्य के बारे में बोला ना कि स्पिरिचुअल क्यूरियोसिटी, तो मेरे दिमाग में हमेशा क्वेश्चंस रहते थे और मैं भाई साहब से पूछती थी, एंड ही ऑलवेज आंसर्ड मी, ऑलवेज। मतलब एक इंसिडेंट नहीं कह सकती मुझे याद करके कि भाई साहब ने नहीं बताया है। और दूसरा, अच्छी बुक्स पढ़ने के लिए भी भाई साहब ने ऑलवेज सजेस्ट किया। जैसे उन्होंने मेरे को बोला एक दिन अचानक से भाई साहब ने कि वीना तुम ऑटोबायोग्राफी ऑफ योगी पढ़ो, एंड भाई साहब को याद भी नहीं होगा बट आई रेड दैट बुक। पूरी रात जब इतनी मैं इन्वॉल्व हो गई थी कि पढ़ा। तो मैं सिर्फ ये बताना चाहती हूँ कि भाई साहब ने और भाभी जी ने हम लोगों के लिए, सियाटल संगत के लिए बहुत किया है। मतलब शुरुआत यहाँ से हुई, और हम लोग ऐसे थे कि किसी गुरु में जाने में डरते थे। और जब हमें गुरु जी के बारे में पता चला तो मेरे पापा जी ने बोला कि क्या सब है, तो हमने, मेरे ब्रदर ने कहा कि MP भाई साहब है ना मानते हैं। तो पापा जी ने कहा कि अगर मिस्टर MP मानते तो उनके घर चलो, मीन्स देयर इज नो फ्रॉड। मतलब इतना फेथ था भाई साहब के ऊपर पूरी फैमिली को। और हम लोग इमीडिएटली, भाई साहब ने जब हमसे बातें की तो हमें इमीडिएटली कनेक्ट करवा दिया गुरुजी से। सो आई वांट टू थैंक यू भाई साहब एंड भाभी जी फॉर ऑल योर हेल्प, एंड हम लोग को गुरुजी से जो मिलवाया, थैंक यू।
We are all instruments in his will.
Yeah.
जो तुम्हें होना था वो गुरुजी ने किया.
Yes.
Somebody came in the way to help.
Yeah.
And we all are just so blessed कि आज 27th के दिन ही I think गुरुजी ने already plan किया हुआ था naturally कि MP अंकल तभी पहले हमारा हो ही नहीं रहा था. It was just गुरुजी's will कि आज 27th की जो special date है उस पे आपने share किया अंकल. तो we are feeling doubly blessed really. Thank you so much.
All Guruji's blessings for all of us.
Yes uncle,
Yeah.
thank you so much. जय गुरुजी. संगत जी
क्या
जय गुरुजी.
दीजिए मंजू दीदी कुछ कहेंगे भाई साहब.
हाँ please.
Yeah.
Jai Guruji.
Jai Guruji.
जय गुरुजी.
I just want to say we are very lucky to be living in Seattle, and so very lucky and grateful to both of you, because हम means तो गुरुजी निकालते हैं, लेकिन just means के through आप गुरु से connect होते हैं. You have to be very grateful, and with deep core of my heart, I'm very grateful to both of you for every single time we have been there. Thank you guys.
Jai Guruji. It's all our blessings.
Thank you Shanti. Thank you MP uncle. Shukrana to Guruji.